Thank you, Mr. President. And if I might just say before, I have a series of questions, but I'd like to assure members that these questions are asked in the spirit of working together, as the Chief Minister has referred to earlier. I'd like to ask the Minister for Environment, Food and Agriculture what steps his department has taken in response to the formal request dated the 24th of January 2020 that his department serve on the owner and or occupier of the Trafalgar Hotel, South Quay, Douglas, a building preservation notice under Section 17 of the Town and Country Planning Act 1999, and what powers and resources his department has to properly assess and progress the registration of this building. Thank you, Mr. President.
The Minister to reply. Mr. Booth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not sure that it is appropriate to comment in this court on specific cases. Nevertheless, I shall speak in general terms. The Department may, if it appears that a building which is not registered is of special architectural or historic interest and is in danger of demolition or of alteration in such a way to affect its character as a building of such interest, serve a building preservation notice. Such notice has the effect that the building is treated as being a registered building and the notice remains in force for 4 months from the date it is served or until the department registers the building or the notice is withdrawn. Unless of the greatest urgency, I consider matters in relation to the imposition of a building preservation notice on a monthly basis at department meetings. In cases like this, a desktop exercise is undertaken. This would consider both how imminently in danger of demolition or alteration a building is and whether the building is of sufficient architectural historic interest to be considered for registration. I am unable to elaborate further on whether the Trafalgar Hotel is of sufficient architectural or historic interest, as this exercise is not yet complete, nor should this be discussed in this court. In terms of what powers and resources the Department has to properly assess and progress the registration of a building, the Department has access to historical information, has the right of access to the building if necessary. You will be aware that the position of the registered building officer has been vacant for some time, which has hindered progress on registrations, but this has not meant that assessments have not been carried out or considered by other officers in the Planning and Building Control Directorate. The Department can and has sought the views of MNH, a statutory consultee in the registration of buildings.
Mrs. Maska.
Thank you to the Minister for that helpful response. I'm concerned that there is an excellent planning approval for the adjacent site for development of replacing warehouses, and this was set out in the formal request for the building preservation notice to be served. I do understand that there is no method statement contained in the approval, or there's no requirement for a method statement. These buildings are adjacent and adjoin Trafalgar Hotel, and as has happened historically in similar cases, you can end up with the building that's adjoined to the site becoming imminently in danger, and without a building preservation notice, which would last, as the Minister quite rightly says, 4 months, this building could potentially be in danger. And by service of a building preservation notice, Mr. President, it does give the protection for that 4 months to enable his department to properly assess the merits of the building. I would ask that the Minister give a time scale on when this work can be carried out so that it can meaningfully address the protection of this potentially important building. Thank you, Mr. President.
Reply, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. I understand that the original application included the demolition and redevelopment of the whole site, including the Trafalgar, but was subsequently amended to exclude the building. I also understand that no demolition direction has been received in respect of either site of the planning application or the Trafalgar, so at present it is not considered that the building is in imminent danger of demolition or alteration. If that situation changes, then that will give us an opportunity to serve the notice if it is required.